Yeah, so like the number one live video that pops up of us on YouTube is this video of us playing the showcase. We had some member who just like couldn't drive down with us. They had to like go to class or something. So he had to fly and we were just going to pick him up on the way to Showcase Theater. But what happened was we were like already running kind of late and we got to the airport and he like wasn't there. He's describing where he is and we're like, dude, none of that makes sense, bro. Like finally at some point, one of us were just like, what airport are you at? And he told us the wrong airport. He straight up told us the wrong airport. And it was like, dude, we don't have time to get you. We couldn't go get him. So we went to Showcase, played as a 4-piece. So that's why in that video, it's only Alex on guitar, which I don't think we had ever done before. We totally weren't prepared for. And I hate that that's our like number one live video because all I see is like the 4-piece.
Real quick before we start, I just wanted to mention that we do these podcast recordings live on stream. We stream every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST on Twitch. It's an opportunity for you guys to come hang out, interact, and ask your questions directly to all of our guests. We also have a Discord if you want to keep talking more about deathcore and metalcore, or simply to keep up with everything that we're doing, upcoming guests, and all that jazz. I'll leave links to both of these things in the description wherever you are watching or listening. And with that out of the way, please enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of the Brutality Podcast. My name is Dom. I am joined as always by my co-host Yan. And this week we have the privilege of getting to talk to none other than Zak of Elysia. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Good to see you again, Jan.
It's that's what I was saying before. I'm like, poor Zak, like he's talked to me for hours for the video and now he has to come back and still talk to me for another time. But like, it's
people don't know, but he's got a gun to his head just outside of frame right now.
Yeah, no, just people don't know it. No, but like I was very pleasantly surprised. Well, not very surprised, but like when I released the video, tons of comments, like because I think at the end of the video, I'm saying like, hey, if you want to see a podcast with me and Zak or something, I think I mentioned it, and tons of people were please do it. So I thought, let's wait, and like when he's got something to announce or whatever, or when it's the right time, let's do it later on. So I think it's perfect timing right now with the Spotify things coming and stuff. So I'm super glad you're here. And also our community are very stoked for you to be here. When we announced it last week, like, I don't know if you remember, just when we said it, people were like, what? So thank you for being here, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it, Yan, but I'd love we could maybe start off with that. I mean, you guys have been, you've been putting out some, the Masochist remaster. It's come to tape, CD, vinyl. You put out some merch. Can you walk us kind of through that? Like, what kind of prompted it? What's it been like? What's been the process?
It's been a super long process, actually. I was probably trying to do this originally maybe 5 years ago or something.
Okay, it's been a long while.
Yeah, long while. There's been lots of roadblocks and lots of like different iterations of what it would look like. Really excited to finally be here with it coming out Friday, with people getting their CDs and tapes and, hopefully vinyl soon. It's really nice to kind of see it finally come to fruition. I'm really stoked.
Yeah, because you guys did the like the pin release first, right? Like that was kind of the first thing that came out, because for a while it was like Elysia, there's no socials, no nothing, the first kind of like things kind of came out. People were like, wait, is this a comeback? Like, what's going on here? Like, and I think the pin was like kind of the first thing that kind of surfaced, right?
Yeah, the pin core dude hit me up. He's great. That dude rules. And then, I had to make social media because thinking about this re-release, I was like, how am I going to tell people about it?
Yeah.
Like, man doesn't have any social media, so I had to make some, and then also try to get a little bit of following before announcing. Otherwise, I'd still just be like putting it out into the void.
To no one, yeah.
Yeah, to no one, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that there was like, even before you coming back, like everybody would kept, like I was watching like even comments on YouTube, like even on old videos and stuff, like your band always stayed in the scene. Like it's wild to think about that. Like even if you were not around anymore, like people were still bringing it up. I mean, on my channel, I think after 2 videos, like it was the most requested that people were like, please, we want to know what happened and stuff like that. And every single time you guys are releasing any kind of merch or any items or whatever, like it really feels like it takes 3 seconds and it's gone, you know? So it's super cool to see. Like I think the way it looks, the artworks, like what you chose to go with is very unique and like
I love it. I love the art direction
also,
in general for all the merch is really fucking cool. Really dig it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that, and thanks to Alexander, that had a lot to do with him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Our guy
mostly has to do with him, I should say.
Yeah, because you had Curly do a design, right?
Yeah, and then Curly redid our like old Severed Pig's Head design.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything else was Alexander. Yeah.
How was that for you? Kind of like reimagining the whole art. You know, like was there how much? Because just from seeing the spreads, ultimately, like there's a lot of like the old flyers and all these things. And you were talking to me just before we started, you know, you've got these liner notes about the history and stuff. So like, I'm assuming that took a lot, right? To kind of put everything together and then kind of package it all into one nice thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like grabbing all those old flyers and photos took a lot of digging up and hitting up old friends and seeing if anyone had any photos and posting on social media, trying to get people to submit stuff. So all the photos and flyers you see is really a collaboration between us and friends and fans and stuff. And then the artwork with Alexander, he was great. It was really as simple as like, I told him kind of what the themes of the album were, like literally a few bullet points. And I told him kind of what I didn't like about the original album design. And that's kind of all I gave him.
What didn't you like? I want to put you on the spot. What are the things you wanted to be different?
That album design for us wasn't custom made. Like it was previously like created already by the artist. And then I just asked them to make some changes to it because I liked how it looked. But I kind of was like, oh, we should get some themes in there. So it's really like rudimentary and like simple. It's, you know, it's just a girl. There's like a church and then like the U.S. Capitol, I think.
Yeah, 2 elements. Yeah.
Yeah. So very basic kind of Photoshop. And it was like too much of the focal point was like on the girl. And I felt like the background stuff was kind of more of what the album was about. So yeah, I told Alexander that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. Gave him all these ideas. And then he what was really important for me was to find someone who was like familiar with the album.
Yeah.
And he had familiarity with it.
He was already a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And so he came up with that design. Like, yeah. And I thought he nailed it. Again, like I hardly told him anything about what we wanted it to look like. He just kind of busted it out. It was sick.
Nailed it.
Yeah. He's got a particular style too. I guess there's like some, you know, some expectation that can be, you know, when you go to an artist, you know, you kind of have some, at least a general idea of what the style
vibe, at least.
Yeah, the vibe. Like he does a lot of that collage style stuff, right? Which I think fits so well with like having all
Yes.
those flyers and all those things. Like he's like the collage king. Like that's what he does, you know? So like having him do the art for something that has so many elements that he can actually work with, I think probably was exciting for him too, right? To be able to, you know, not create assets, but actually go with something that actually has meaning and put it into something that's cool.
Yeah. Totally.
And the colors too, right? Like I think the colors, like we've never really seen, like it's this very special, specific set of colors, and I feel like it works very well with the, you know, with the album. So like it's I would be curious to ask you something, because last time we talked together, we're talking about the story and all that, and you mentioned that you moved away from deathcore, right? Like you went into other like you came back to your roots with like hardcore. You even went to do like black metal and stuff like that. When you see all those reactions, when you see all the people who like buy the stuff and all that, does it like ever happen to you that you have this little urge to maybe reduce a little bit of deck or go back on stage or whatever? Like, even if it's just for a moment, do you sometimes think about it? Or I'm just curious.
What, like playing a reunion show specifically?
Yeah, but like it could be reunion, just doing it for fun, just, you know, like, or redoing like vocals or whatever.
Sure.
Do you
could be another band, or
yeah, it could be
like
something
deathcore
else.
in general, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm honestly always trying to do other bands. I just don't know a whole lot of people anymore. But I have a couple friends here in San Francisco, and we're kind of like riff collecting, but not really writing songs yet. But yeah, I think this kind of helped kick that into overdrive for sure. It's definitely made me want to like this will be fun for now, but it'll be pretty short lived, because it's like once it's out, it'll kind of be over, you know. And it's I don't want to live in this historical moment for too
Right,
long.
you're not
Like
gonna
I really want to be like
do another pressing every other like 6 months or something, like you know.
Yeah, I don't want to like dwell on it too much and live in the past. Like I'd like to be forward thinking, and so yeah, it really is kind of like a kick in the ass to get something else started. It's really motivating, yeah, in that way.
What about like the deathcore revival right now? Like, are you following any of that right now? Like, there's a huge resurgence in deathcore, right? Like, it's as popular as ever, basically.
All Shall Perish coming back, all that stuff.
Yeah, all these old bands, a lot of bands that you know you're friends with, you know, Knights of the Abyss doing stuff, like with Bloodstone's Cleansing is putting out music and stuff. Nice. Moria came back, like, you know, all these bands that you were acquainted with that are coming back and putting out new music and playing shows. All most of them on a you know, more of a part-time basis, but it's cool to see just like new music from them and stuff, and play a few shows and stuff. How does that play into it as well, maybe?
Well, maybe. I mean, I just have like a drive to create, and so that's kind of regardless of anything else going on. But no, I'm totally aware of that. I still go to shows a lot, and in fact, just saw Tracheotomy out here.
Oh, hell yeah!
In SF, they came and met them. It was really cool. It was super cool.
Simon was actually telling me when I saw them a couple of weeks
later.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty sure we talked with Simon. Like, Elysia was probably a big influence, you know, like like a super huge influence for them. So
sick. Yeah. Did he tell you Eddie was there too?
Yeah. Dude, it was kind of, I think it was like at the same time. He was kind of like walked into the green room and was like, wait, what's going on right now?
Yeah, that was cool, because you know, I was talking to Eddie, and we were kind of like, yo, did we ever actually meet? And I was like, I don't think so, dude, because back then I was like, I was pretty shy around other bands and like older bands, because I always felt insecure that I was like a weird little kid to them, because I was always younger than everyone. So there's like a bunch of bands like All Shall Perish or like Suicide Silence, where, you know, I was like watching your episode from last week, and I was like, damn, I like never actually really talked to him, because I was always just like man, these guys don't want to talk to me. And so,
Right. They weren't that much older either, right? Like, because you
no,
guys
but
were
no,
young,
totally,
but
yeah.
like at that point, they weren't super old either. It's not like they were in their 30s.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the funny thing, right? So they're probably like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
But when you're a teenager, that's a huge difference. Like when I'm
Yes.
19
Yes.
and someone's 22 or 23, I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking grown
Yes.
adult. Like they don't want anything to do with me. So I hardly even talk to those dudes. And like, um, if I did, it was because they were like an extreme, like extrovert, really personable person who came up to me or something like.
Right. It kind of forced you into it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
But
was kind of telling Eddie that he was like, "Oh, like sorry if we like never met." And I was like, "Dude, like I don't hold it against like any of those kind of like older guys.
Yeah.
Um, for us not talking back in the day because it was really I was just like too shy and insecure."
it's kind of funny though. And by the way, I can fully relate on that. Like I'm extremely introvert in general, even if people don't know that. So like I completely relate. Like you never want to bother anyone. You just want to do your
Yeah.
thing and you just want to, you want to be respectful of everybody. So like you're focusing on what you do. And especially like you said, seeing all those bands, like you guys were the ice coolers pulling up like the most violent shows. So it was kind of crazy if you think about it, but like, what's funny today is in their perception, you guys were awesome. You know what I mean? Like for you didn't want to bother these people, but to them, you were like crazy and amazing. So like they respect it. Like that's what me and them are talking with them. They're like, yeah, this band was crazy and stuff. So it's funny how it's always like a perception thing, right? Like it's what we think, but when you talk about it and it goes to it, you're like, oh my God, wow, okay, so that it was in my head. Like they were, I could have talked to them easily, probably, right?
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing. Now that we talk with these people, like your band come like honestly dumb every single time we talk about the old days. Your band comes up.
A lot of the new wave of deathcore is looking to the MySpace era like style of deathcore that's coming up right now. Like a lot of those, most of them are kids. And they're like probably, you know what, like the age you guys were when you guys were doing the band,
Exactly.
And they're looking to that music from back then. Like, cause I think there was something, it was youthful, right? We talk about this a lot. Like there's some sort of, you see it on the old, I was going through the old, like the Wayback Machine, like MySpace stuff. And it was like, the one thing you need to know about us is we don't give a fuck, right? There's this kind of like naive, like we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want type vibe that you don't get from a lot of older people. I guess it's a very youthful thing to do. And I think a lot of the bands doing that, the younger bands doing that stuff now, are mentioning Elysia a lot, like it's because they were, that band back then that were the kids that had that youthful energy. Like that was a thing,
Yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of those bands are kind of taking the style back to the drawing board. I don't know how other people feel about it, but it's not really been a genre I've paid attention to the last like 5-6 years or so. It's just kind of stale to me. So it's cool to see kids going back and just saying like, well, what made the roots of it special?
Well, I think it's what excites them, right? Like I think to your point, I think that it's the same thing. They listen to maybe deathcore that's coming out in 2024 and they're like, like this, there's something missing. There's like a rawness to it or just, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something that's kind of like, it's become a bit more stale for lack of a better word. Right. And no disrespect to any of the bands doing it now, but I think the younger kids right now are looking for that, that extra something, that was there basically in the MySpace days. Like we call it the MySpace days, but it's not really about MySpace. It's like it's the energy that was around.
Yeah, that's just like the term for that era, really.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I think it's mosh. Like I think the past
hardcore
decade of like deathcore has been too focused on trying to impress metal people. and getting away from like moshing. You know, when we were starting, dancing was like the most important part. It was more important than like being metal. But this was like a pattern I would see with bands I knew, and you know, with even with some guitarists that played in our band. The guitarists specifically who really like death metal, who are making deathcore, eventually grow kind of embarrassed or ashamed about it as they're meeting more and more metal people, as they're like heroes in these metal bands.
Right,
Tend to
their
shrug
heroes are
off
playing
deathcore.
chugs. Yeah.
Exactly, and I think they're just kind of like ashamed to be playing deathcore. So what they end up doing is just kind of trying to impress that like group of metal
100%.
Same
with
thing with
their
vocalists, by the way.
deathcore band.
Vocalist too.
Now, you know.
For sure. Yeah. Vocals is like a whole nother thing I could get into. But,
we can go into it because it's very interesting. But but I think you're right.
So I think this next generation of bands, when I say they're going back to the drawing board, what they're realizing is that they want to play shows that feel like hardcore shows that people like mosh and like go crazy to, and not just kind of like stand there with their arms crossed. So that's really exciting to see. That, you know, makes me really stoked to see, because that's always what was important to us, was like moshing. Like I said, that was like the number one priority was that.
I mean, like, honestly, first of all, your take is that's exactly what we both think. Like, I think it's fair to say, me and Dom, like, we keep saying it, that it's a big part of it. Like, the hardcore, like, deathcore is supposed to be death metal, hardcore. The hardcore roots are very important in deathcore, but like, as the years went by, it became a kind of death metal instead of like kind of losing the hardcore roots, which went against the you know the whole point of it. Like, people wanted to go crazy, but like, how can you expect your crowd to go crazy if you don't go crazy, or if you don't create these parts to go crazy in? So I like, that's making a comeback, and you can see it in the live, you know, performances, and you can see it.
Dude, the Florida scene right now, man, is popping off.
Yes,
like,
I think
people
that's
are
what we all
going
think of as Florida.
crazy at shows.
Kids are going crazy once again. You don't see as many phones in the crowds. You don't see as many people just standing there. You see more people just going crazy because the band themselves are going crazy. So,
and they're writing dummy riffs and fucking breakdowns. You know.
Simplicity works sometimes. So.
Shout out Jeff out there in Florida, who's making a lot of that shit.
Yeah, dude, he's carrying the whole scene for sure.
Totally,
yeah.
it's really cool to see. Like, deathcore was. I thought when we started it, like, this is a subgenre of like hardcore metalcore, and then I think it's just been more of like a death metal subgenre, so almost like a totally different style of music. And I feel like if deathcore is going to be too metal like that, it gets to a point where I'm like, I just want to listen to a metal band, man.
Yeah. I'll listen to a death metal band if I want to listen to death metal.
I'll just listen to a death metal band. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I like that they're taking it back to like being a subgenre of like metalcore and hardcore. That's what's up. That's sick. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people don't really talk about yet, I don't see, at least in the deathcore scene, is this kind of like separate genre we're seeing the last like 6-8 years or so of bands playing like hardcore death metal. And it's like a kind of silly distinction, but it is different. So for example, like that Terminal Nation album that just came out last week, where I like did a guest spot on it. I love that shit, dude. Like, that shit's fucking awesome. That gets me really stoked, because I feel like they didn't just go back to the drawing board. They like threw the drawing board away.
Yeah, like a new take on something that would have been.
It's a totally like fresh new take. Yeah, and like the death metal they pull from is like more in line with the death metal bands that I kind of like now. Like I really like just kind of like slow dummy bolt thrower type shit.
Yeah, the
Old school
caveman
death metal,
riffs.
caveman riffs and shit for sure. And I love that they're pulling from this like other type of death metal. And I love that they have that sound that sounds so like energetic and sounds so
It's raw.
reminds you
There's
so much
almost
of
like a
hardcore.
grindy like side to it, right? Like it's
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, because the guy has that like punk thing going on too. But yeah, and there's a bunch of bands doing that besides Terminal Nation that are fucking sick. I really love Cruelty from
Yeah.
Japan. They're fucking
Yep.
badass, and I feel like a lot of like deathcore kids need to get turned on to what those bands are doing. So that's just two you can start with, but there's plenty of them doing that. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, there's a whole wave of those bands right now. Like you said, it's been a
Yeah.
few years at this point, but yeah, there's like I don't know, all these things are kind of these. It's weird. Just it's like these micro niches, right? Like, and like maybe a band or two out of the bunch, like Cruelties just came. Well, they're on tour right now in the U.S. Or just got back from. I don't know, but like some of these bands are getting like. Are breaking through the niche. Like Tracheotomy is a great example of that. But like technically speaking, like that MySpace, like it's not that sound isn't like taking over deathcore by any means. It's like a super niche type thing, but there's a bunch of those little niches with like very specific kind of sounds, like the one you just mentioned as well, which I don't know, there's like a metalcore, like the old school metalcore revival going on as well right now. There's like a bunch of these little pockets that are super fucking interesting right now.
But it's fun to see because those followings, like those little cult followings are the most fun to be a part of, I believe. Like it reminds me of, what, back in the MySpace days when you would find like this niche style and then you see like it's kind of starting up. You feel like you're part of it when in these specific and people are going crazies in shows because smaller communities bound with each other like more, like it's a closer relationship. So I personally really love coming across these things and being aware that it's special and it's it's not as big as the other stuff, but like it's people go crazy for it.
It's still thriving, regardless of it being like commercially viable or not or whatever.
Exactly.
Everything seems to be thriving right now in aggressive music. Shit's popping right now, popping off. Everything seems as big as it ever was.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
For sure. I always say there's a 2015. You would have asked me if Yen and I would be doing a fucking podcast about deathcore, be talking to people who were in bands in fucking 2002. I would have said, hell nah. There's no way people are tuning into this shit.
Yeah. Well, in 2002, you would have been like, "What's a podcast?"
Yeah. No, for sure.
For sure. And just to your point, also, like you mentioned, like like we talked about the hardcore and stuff like that. Would it be fair to say that like the bands that are most fun live are also bands that seems to be conscious, like when they write music, it is for the live shows, right? Like they write certain parts thinking that's gonna go wild live, that's gonna be fun live. Would you say like I know maybe you don't remember all, the way you were writing stuff, but would you say that back then it was a big part of, the songwriting, thinking about these shows, thinking about these specific moments, creating a part, thinking, oh, they're going to go crazy for that.
The build-ups, the gang vocals, like how a breakdown hits, like,
Always thinking about that. And we practiced in our drummer's garage and it was like 5 minutes from school. So we went there every day, and so we always like brought friends with us and shit. So usually during practice,
their reactions.
Yeah, we had like 2 or 3 people hanging out in the garage, and so we kind of like always had like a small audience, kind of like that, where we could gauge how something's gonna hit.
That's cool though. I mean, most bands don't have that luxury without actually having to step up on stage and stuff, and it's kind of, I think it's rare also for people, like once the song is like written and they're playing it properly at a show, that they'll necessarily go back and tweak the songs a lot, You know, it's like, it's almost like this thing where like once it's played on stage, it's because the song's finished and they're ready to play it type thing. But I guess in a jam environment, you're still like ready to, you know, you're still writing.
Change,
still,
yeah.
Yeah, you can change anything, right? Like, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there are things you'll realize when playing live, and often you're right, it is too late.
Yeah. Well, mental note for the future type thing at that point.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's also why bands will make subtle changes to parts and songs live, because they just figured out that something was more fun if they played it slower live or something. You know?
I think there's literally like nothing wrong with that. Like I think it's a cool thing when people are able to take a step back and just
love alternative versions that bands will play live.
I
like
think it's
adding extra an extra section or drawing stuff out. Like we don't see that ever in metal, man. Like metal is so like this is the song we're gonna play it exactly like on the CD, you know. But like you go to a rock show, you go to any other fucking genre, and like you're taking a bridge and you're making it out into a 2-minute part all of a sudden, taking a rack with the crowd and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. That's the thing I wish there was more of in like metal and hardcore or whatever.
And no one would be against it, I think. Like fans just like these things when it's different. Like when they're, oh my God, they're bringing back this part. Like they usually don't do that. Like people are just happy to see that. And while we're talking about, in the songwriting, thinking about live, I think the Suffocate guys were good for that as well. Like, I feel like their music was written for the live shows, like at least from because I know you guys were close to them, right? Back then?
Kind of the same situation where like they felt older than me, and so I didn't really talk to them. But we played a bunch of shows with them.
His ears were bigger than mine, so I was just too intimidated.
Totally. Oh, not only that, but they were like, where I was from, which is Sacramento, but I was like from a rural area. Actually, all of us were from a rural area of Sacramento, and I thought anyone from the Bay was like a gangster. Like Suffocate, like repping Oakland. I was like, oh dude, these fucking guys are
hard,
are so real, dude. Yeah, they're fucking hard as fuck. And they smoked hella weed, and I was like, oh my God, dude, how do they have so much weed? Like
oh my God.
I just thought they were so fucking cool and like scary and shit. And I'm pretty sure Oakland preceded a lot of what we wrote for Masochist. And that album's super moshy, and I remember just watching them, and like it felt like our friends liked seeing them more than us at that point. And I think I could safely say that playing a bunch of shows with Suffocate had a huge impact on making us more like moshy and like probably harder too, like giving us like kind of like a harder edge sound. So yeah, shout out the Oakland album, was sick, dude. They used to have 2 vocalists. Rest in peace, Carlos, one of the vocalists. Him and Jared used to look so fucking badass on stage together. And again, they were probably like 2 or 3 years older than me, but I thought I was like watching like full on adults.
That's how it feels at that age, though. That's
really
how it feels, literally. Yeah. Like when you're in high school, like let's bring us back in high school. Like when I was in, for example, like grade 2 or 3, like in high school, like when you see people just, 2 years older, it feels like there's like 10 years difference or something. Like you look at them, like the difference is so big at that age. So I can see that. But yeah, no, it's I was asking about Suffocate because Oakland I think is still very underrated, and I would love to see something new with Jared. And I'm not like, honestly, like hear back his vocals on something different or whatever, but this tone, this album,
very sick vocals.
It's so good. Like the way he sounds, even the album, I know it's raw. I know it's like an old recording, but like there's a charm to it. Like I still believe right now it's still good. And I love when people are talking about it. So it's cool that you bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Very important album to Elysia and to deathcore, So even if kids, don't like it when they check it out, they need to at least check it out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people our age are all on the same page about that album. That's for sure.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I have a quick, I don't know, and just tell me if I'm moving on too fast in the story or whatever.
You know, I would tell you. You're
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Thanks. I'm just curious. The infamous part that everybody is waiting for, the infamous breakdown on Masochist, you know, like with the call out and all that, like bum 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 bum, like the famous part that people are going
Incinerate?
crazy. Yes, exactly. I'm trouble with names. So I was like, yeah. So this part, when you wrote that, were you like expecting people to go that crazy? Like in your mind when you played that and people just went literally crazy, was that like an instant thing that the first time you played just people responded to it, or did it take a little time so that people kind of knew it was coming? Like I'm just curious to know how it went live.
Well, the response it got was never expected, but the response it got was definitely what we wanted, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it took a while. Like Incinerate's actually older than the other songs on the 2004 demo. So we had played it at probably like a dozen shows or something.
Okay.
Before the 04 demo came out. And so that was just maybe some friends going off to it.
Yeah, you don't memorize a song off of seeing it once live.
Yeah,
either,
I mean,
right? It's like,
yeah, totally. And so, yeah, and plus, Lucia was just kind of small for a while too. So there wasn't really anything that felt super instant until maybe like Filthy and then like the Masochist album.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you right now, Zach, honestly, I think on my channel, I'm at 40 documentaries done since last summer, almost a year now. And your crowds are still the wildest out of every videos I've ever made. And I'm not kidding. Like your crowds, like the intensity, I did like you, I mean, I did almost every big band in the scene, and quite honestly, it's still the craziest that I've seen. People were jumping on you guys, and just like it seemed like the whole crowd
it's a hardcore vibe again that we don't like. That's like typical,
for sure.
Like just another day in hardcore, right? But we don't have that.
Totally.
We never really got that much even in deathcore, even the bands that had more like moshy type stuff, you know, like I feel like that was kind of specific to you guys for some reason.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. Well, it was really important to us. I think we sort of like, I don't know, like tried to grow that aspect of band, like with our live shows, like encouraged it, you know, certainly. I don't know. I can't like speak to why people reacted that way, but we also reacted pretty crazy too, especially when we were young and like felt no pain and shit. Like we would always jump into the crowd if there was enough people there and shit. Or I would always either be like, I would expend so much energy doing like straight up cardio from just like running side to side and like kicking and punching and like jumping on people and shit that I welcomed people taking the microphone from me.
right.
Because I was like, dude, I can't fucking sing this, dude. Like I don't have the breath for this. Like here, help me out, please.
That's so good.
At least they're taking it from you, and it isn't like the usual like, I'm gonna have you guys sing type thing, and just like, you know, you're like forcing the crowd to sing, but people aren't wanting it type thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like a combo of like, there were times where I physically couldn't use the microphone if I wanted to, because it was out of my power. Like it had been taken from me. You know, and plus just like, this combination of that plus me just running around. Again, I would need help. And I remember early like YouTube days, kind of when it was first around, and we first started having like flip phone videos of our shows on there, there'd always be comments of people like what the fuck, this guy like never sings. I don't know if people remember reading that.
As though it's a negative thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
The band's going too crazy, guys. The crowd is going insane. It's a bad thing.
Yeah, and there was always like people defending it in the comments who were like, "Oh, you just have to like be there. It's just like, that's just what we do at Elysia shows. Is we like rush the stage, try to sing along to everything, and grab the microphone and shit. And like, it was really a crowd experience, and so it kind of didn't matter that I wasn't doing every single vocal part, you know."
Yeah.
My favorite, my favorite part, honestly, of all of this is that you were literally starting deathcore, like being a pioneer in deathcore, and then you were going back to high school and be a student. That's my favorite part of everything. Like that's like it's so like it's so such a different lifestyle. Like you're pioneer. Like I know it didn't feel like that back then, but like you were a part of something super special and big with all those crazy bands like Suicide Silence and stuff like that. And the next day you had homeworks to do and go back to school. Like I think we talked about that.
We did talk about this. Yeah, because you asked me if we were like cool in school, and I was like, "What the fuck? The hell no, dude!" Like, you know the joke of like, oh, I have a girlfriend. You probably don't know her. She goes to another school. Yeah. That was me, but about like having friends. So it was like, no, I have friends. I swear, I have friends. They just go to like another school like that you've never heard of.
Yeah, that's funny because Dom, like I think I told you, but like it was one of my questions that I really wanted to ask Zach, right? I was like, how was that at school? You know, like my mind was like, he came back to school and he's like this cool guy in a band, and he's like, nobody cared, dude. Like we were just doing our thing, and it's another scene. So I thought it was interesting to hear.
I think it's probably always like kind of like you also don't want to be like the cringy like talent, like school talent band either, you know. It's like you want to separate those things as much as possible. Like,
my school had a battle of the bands, and we didn't even think about doing it for a second. And the person organizing it like kind of knew about us and was like asking like, "Hey, really just thought we would do it." And I was like, "No, you don't understand. Like, everyone will make fun of us." I'm not subjecting myself to that type of scrutiny and just getting, oh my God.
I think it was the right
on
call.
top of it, it's a battle of the bands where you're like, inevitably the point of it is kind of to judge the bands on stage, right? Like there's, you've got to vote for a band ultimately, and like one goes home as a loser. Like fuck that.
No, fuck that. No. Yeah,
and especially when people wouldn't get it, you know.
Yeah, no. There wasn't even crowds. Like it was in the gymnasium, and the band played like up against the backboard where like a basketball hoop is, and then everyone who went was just on the sides in the stands.
Oh my God!
So you were fully just on display. Fuck that! No way. Some like emo band one.
That makes sense.
Makes more sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's kind of surprising too, actually. I don't know how it was for you.
It's kind of all there was, honestly.
I was
the
only emo kid at my school type thing.
Yeah, it was like only 5 bands or something. It was like 3 kind of scene emo bands, like these like new metal kids. Who the drummer took his shirt off as they started playing, and the vice principal ran down and stopped them in the middle of their song to make him put his shirt on.
So good,
dude. That band was so fucking funny. Oh yeah, they didn't win. I can't believe it. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think when you got to stop and put your shirt back, it probably ruins your
the vibe. Yeah. Kind of checks you for a minute.
Yeah.
No, but I think I love talking about these things because I don't think there was a lot of high school students being part of this deathcore wave. Like, I'm not saying there was no one, but like at the level you guys were, like having like legit crowds and stuff. I think it was a super rare thing. Not to say that you were probably even the only band doing that. So I think that's why I like talking about it, because it's a special thing. I think it's part of the lore. It's part of the cult following.
On that,
yeah.
did you guys ever have issues playing venues that were like 21 plus or anything? Because you guys were not 21 plus for a long time. You know?
Honestly, no, not really. Like if we were offered a show that was 21 plus, we probably would have just turned it down.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just a part of a tour, right? And you just kind of show up, you're like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah. By the time that happened to us, we probably were 21 or something. But I think before that, we definitely would have turned it down because we would have just been like, none of our friends can go. Like, why would we play that?
Oh, right. Yeah, right. The crowd couldn't even show up. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were very like, I talk about this a lot in the liner notes actually of the reissue. We were very like a band of and for and by its peers. For most of the band's life, it was like that. So it was always just like us and our friends making music that us and our friends liked, mobbing to shows together, like just fully living the lifestyle. I understand why people will hit me up and be like, those were the best days of my life. I'm like, dude, I totally get it. It felt the best days of your life are typically revolve around like feeling like involved in something, included in something, feeling like you're a part of something.
Right. Something that a lot of people inevitably kind of usually lose, I guess, with age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the sad part of aging. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I know I talked about it in the video, but for those who didn't watch it or don't want to hear me talk for super long, I'm trying to understand. The part, I think a big part that made you stand out was also the way you guys looked, right? Like you dressed kind of, I don't want to say casually, like I mean that, like meaning that you didn't, like you had no gimmick, you didn't look like scene kids or something like that, right? Yeah. You just like regular kids doing extremely heavy music, and I feel like that probably resonated more with people your age. Like I could be wrong, but I feel it was maybe part of it.
I could see that.
Would you say that?
Yeah, I felt like us and a lot of kids I knew felt like they just like. And maybe this was just a Sacramento thing, like local to our scene, but a lot of us just felt like we weren't cool or like accepted by the metalcore scene. Because at the time it was super sceney, white belt, Christcore type shit.
Yep.
And like we didn't really dress like that or look like that. And it took a while for us to really find acceptance in Sacramento. So I think we always kind of had a chip on our shoulder. We're always super like anti like sceney bopper shit. And again, like I said, that might have just been a Sacramento thing. I mean, like there were kind of two big venues for metalcore shows, and one was a church. And the biggest local band at the time in metalcore was this band named Catherine, who I don't think we're a Christian band, but maybe started as a Christian band. We ended up becoming friends with them, which is kind of a funny thing about musicians, is they often become friends despite fans maybe perceiving them as enemies. We toured with them and shit, and they were great. But we were kind of like rebelling against what they stood for, which was this just kind of like, this like scene core popularity contest, like fake ass Christian shit. Like all those kids used to fucking party like so hard, and I just thought they're all like hypocrites and We just we like
Oh, yeah.
hated that shit, dude, and I just hated that shit. So we're always like rebelling against it.
It might be a big part of the respect, you know, that you still have to, like, just being real, right? Like, we're talking here about just being yourself, being real, not trying to go with a trend or whatever. You just stay to yourself and, you know, see what happened. It might be a big part of, maybe not like a big part, but definitely a part of the cult following respect that you still have today for being real and not trying to blend in with this new, you know, Christian wave.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that peers thing I was talking about. It was easy to see us as peers because we were your age, and we like, I wasn't like 17 with like fully tatted somehow.
Yeah,
with like a swoopy haircut and shit. Like we didn't look cooler than you, you know. We looked just like you.
More relatable, probably.
It wasn't like well, it goes back to that quote I was referring to earlier. The full thing is like, we're not trying to be the most brutal band, the most metal band, or the most X tough X. The most important thing to know about us is we don't give a fuck.
Oh, wait, is that on our MySpace on way back? Holy shit!
Yeah. Wait, let me pull this shit
funny.
up. Here, pull this out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
When you go to an Elysia show,
grabs.
prepare to be stepped on, spit on, jumped on, kicked, slapped, punched, and molested. And that's just Elysia that will do that to you.
Wow. Yeah.
So good.
No, but I always think it's interesting to know why a band would stand out or why you would, you know, connect more. Because in my book, the reason why people they don't go crazy just to go crazy. If they go crazy for you live and they buy a ticket all the time, it's because they relate to you, like they feel a connection to a band or to the people in the band. So that's why I like, you know, but we like seeing like where it started or what are the reason maybe for that. And sometimes it's hard to you know to find, but in your case, I think, you know, being relatable, being real, just, you know, kind of, we're exactly like you guys. We're doing music because we love it. We're doing what we want to hear. So let's do it together. It was kind of the message of your band. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, totally. Like what you just said, we're doing what we want to hear. Exactly. We were always trying to be like make our own favorite band. You know, so that's spot on.
Yeah, and you. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to switch it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was kind of also switching, so you can go, honestly.
Go for it.
Okay. I was about to say another thing that you did, I mentioned in the video, is I think the absolute proof that you guys were always real about your art is the direction you took after, right? Like, you did an album, it would have been easy to just redo part 2, right? Like kind of the same album, but just like all written different and stuff. But you went on a more hardcore, like you came back to your hardcore roots. It was different. And you would be surprised of the amount of bands who would have loved doing that, but were too scared and just kind of, they did what they thought they should do. And I think it's very respectable that you guys just did what you wanted to do. And because we talked about that, I think on the, you know, last time, and it's not an easy thing to do, to listen to what you want to do and just like ignore maybe the what people are going to say or whatever. So I think it's a proof that you guys were real the whole time and doing the music you wanted to do. Would you say that that's part of it?
Well, in hindsight, switching with the sound of Lion of Judas, it seems so.
Yeah.
It seems like that would have been really challenging, but I can remember like in the midst of it, like during that change, it was like really an obvious choice to make. Like, Lion of Judas was really, it was just like, again, a reflection of like, this is what I like right now. Like this is, and this is what my friends like too. Again, this is like a reflection of like what me and my peers listen to and like, and this is kind of like a band that I think we would like. Uh, so it seemed like an easy choice in the moment, but yeah, definitely when I reflect back on it, I'm like, I could see how maybe it should have been a more challenging decision to make, like should have been more thought out, but it kind of is what it is. Like we made the only album that we knew how to at the end of the
Well,
day.
can you kind of take us into maybe like because we're kind of talking about like the mindset you guys had going into the album, like if we strip away the reception afterwards and all of that, if we could just go back to you guys writing the songs, going to the studio, I know you're like big fan of Converge and being able to record with Kurt, I'm sure was probably something that was super cool for you. I'm assuming, there were new members involved in the band at that point as well. The new label, like there was a lot of stuff going on all at once kind of around that time. Like what was it like for you? Like, was it like just a kind of thoughtless process of like, just this is what I want to write and it's coming out, or was there any doubt? Like how was the process and going through, I guess specifically like writing and recording it for you?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of doubt for sure about it. Because I just don't think we knew what to expect. We didn't really have expectations, you know. And I think we realized or knew that fans of hardcore kids weren't going to be receptive of it, but we'd still just kind of did it anyways. It was really a shot in the dark. Like, let's see what happens, and then go from there. I think we were all willing to like let the band die if it didn't go well, and that's ultimately what happened. It's like it didn't go well, so it was easier like to just kind of let the band fade away. If it had,
is that like a big factor in the band breaking up ultimately, would you say? Or
yeah. I think like if it had been received well, it would have been a lot harder to walk away from, or we would have just probably kept going.
Because even member changes and stuff, like you had already at that point, pulled new members out of your ass like a million times. That was never going to be the roadblock, right? So it's kind of just it seemed like a matter of will at that point,
Yeah, which I lost the will to go on with the band for sure. Yeah.
How was it recording with Kurt?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It was cool. It was really quick. I think it was 5 days.
Oh shit!
Wow.
So it was really quick. Yeah. Like when it got to my vocals, he was like, how long can you record vocals for? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, we'll just go until I can't. And that's literally what happened. Is I went until I could not do vocals anymore, blew out my voice, and then had to come back like a week and a half later to finish.
Oh yeah.
Because I was trying to lay it all down in one day. And you can't do vocals for 8 hours, maybe someone can. But I couldn't. Yeah, so that was fucked up. Luckily, we didn't have a tour for like 3 weeks after recording.
Yeah.
So we like stayed in Philly with a friend during that like period, and I went back one day and just finished the vocals. Yeah.
I read somewhere too, something to the effect of the album being kind of more of a depressing, dark kind of vibe for it, and you like being like physically sick and riddled with anxiety during the recording, and that ultimately kind of like seeped into recording. Is that something you can speak to maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it was a dark kind of personal time for me where I was maybe first experiencing like depression and anxiety, and it was maybe like 20 20 flat. So yeah, it's like kind of like a dark, scary time. I remember while recording it, I was like, I went to like the hospital a couple times in Boston, or we weren't in Boston, in Salem, Massachusetts, to like do tests and shit.
Because you
I
thought
was just,
something was fucked up, like something was wrong.
yeah, like anyone who's ever had like panic attacks or has like an anxiety disorder will know, like when you first just are discovering it, you don't know what's going on. And
You
for
think
me,
you're
it was,
dying, literally.
yeah, it manifested like really physically. Like I remember when we were staying in Philly, uh, we were staying at our friend's like badass apartment, and they had this like rooftop patio on top of like the skyscraper they lived in. It was so fucking sick. Um, I remember like going up a couple flights of stairs because the elevator like ended before the ceiling, and I was just like so out of breath. I like couldn't regain my breath, and I did not know what was going on. And so yeah, I like talked to my doctor. And so like while recording Lion of Judas, I was like doing tests because they just kind of have to like rule shit out too.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you are gonna have really like physical um, symptoms and stuff. So they have to rule out reasons for why you might be dizzy and out of breath all the time and shit. Uh, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely reflected in that album because it was going on while writing it and while recording it. So it's like in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to, like, it's one of those things that if you never had those, it's very difficult to explain the way you feel.
Yeah.
But like it's funny you said that because, well, it's not funny, but I mean, like when I was younger, it's not very funny, but when I was younger, yeah, my English. When I was younger, when the first time it hit me, I did the same thing you did. I went to the hospital. Like I told my parents, like I was pretty young. I told my parents, I'm like, something is wrong. I'm pretty sure I have something. And I even think it was something like a big thing, like a sickness, or I was like, something's wrong. And ended up with a doctor just sitting down with me and be like, yeah, that's anxiety. You like your health is perfect. You're anxious. So like the good news is you don't have something like that. The bad news is you're gonna have this it's gonna be a long time battle. I still remember those words, right? And it's like people can relate if they had it, but it's one of those things that if you never go through that, you have no real idea of what it is. People just tell you like, well, it's in your head, just breathe, and you're like, yeah, that's not how it works. It's not like in my head and now it's gone. So me and Dom, we like talking about those things because the more you talk about it, the more people can relate and maybe understand what they're going through, or even just feel better knowing that they're not the only one feeling like that at all. Like there's a lot of people feeling this way.
I think that helps for sure. Yeah. So
it's crazy to go through a recording session feeling like that and not being like all those things that you mentioned though, like that's like, that's something, you know, and you're kind of there, you're forced to do it. So you're able to pull through, but Jesus Christ, man, like, holy fuck. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fucked up. Like, but I do think it is important to talk about. It's hard too, because, you know, if people haven't experienced stuff like that, they don't understand. So it makes you really like close off to it. But I mean, that had a lot to do, I guess, with why the band ended, because it ended with us like canceling a tour because I needed to like get right. I'd straight up just like finish some like medical tests and shit.
Yeah.
And they like thought they found something, which kind of happened a lot, but thought they found something. And so, yeah, we canceled this like Shai Hulud tour in full blown chaos.
Everyone else ended up dropping off that tour too, right? Like the whole tour ended up
I think it kind of fell apart. Yeah. So, but canceling that wasn't like, oh, we're canceling this because we're breaking up. It was really to like, figure out what was going on and shit. And but that's why I described the band as ending by like it like faded away, it fizzled out, uh, because as we were waiting to see what was going on with me, like uh, I don't know, like I didn't have the drive to really like get the guys back together in a room and shit. Um, and oddly, no one really got uh, in touch with me to like get us
Yeah.
practicing
No one else
again.
stepped
And
up
it's
to
like,
the plate to fill that role. Yeah.
yeah. And so that's why I say I think the like poor reception to Lion Juice had a lot to do with us ending, because I think the dudes in the band maybe just kind of felt like, what's the point of like, they probably weren't motivated to like get us back together when it was going to be such a like uphill battle to tour with that band and to like try to regain some fans or build a new fan base. It seemed maybe too daunting to them. And then also like the label never like really got in touch with us, because I think they were probably like, well, like this album didn't do the numbers we thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, that's my
Maybe.
guess as to why their reaction or their non-reaction was that way.
Right. You stop getting opportunities all of a sudden, and one plus one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then when you, if I remember correctly, when you tried bringing back the band, you ended up doing something completely different, right? Like you did like another project. Like I think it's in the video, like the Black, which by the way, tons of comments saying that they liked it. Just while we're here, like the Black Metal project. Yeah, I've seen tons of comments saying, "Yo, that's pretty cool," and they wanted the link and stuff.
And you really one upped the band name that people can't pronounce with that one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
part of
that name Ritra, like we chose it because of how I like sketched out the logo, a rough sketch, and we like thought it was sick, and we were like, we like the look of this band name. And it almost like we knew it was going to be kind of like dark and mysterious anyway, so we were like, well, yeah, who cares if it's a name without a vowel in the middle of it. Yeah.
I would be curious to know when you like, because I know it ended up being, black metal and different, but like, did it kind of started with like kind of similar to what you guys were doing before, or it straight up was just different since the start? I would be curious, like when you start jamming, like was there any little breakdown at first or whatever, or it was gone?
Yeah, we jammed a lot before the songs that made it on that album made it. Like, so yeah, as you mentioned, so let me go back to that. We all got in a room together because we had a label like offer us an album. They're like, we'll put out an album for you, and like we don't even really care if you play shows, we just want like an Elysia album. And so I hit up Alex from Masochist and our friend Mark, who like toured in Elysia, never like wrote or anything. And I was like, hey, we have this like opportunity. We're not really like doing anything with our lives right now. Like, do you want to take advantage of basically like a free album? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, cool. And so we got in a room together and we just like couldn't write Elysia, basically. We tried writing, it started definitely with death metal and shit. But then it was kind of like an old school death metal band were kind of the songs we were writing. And we're like, fuck, I don't think this is Elysia. Like, I don't know. Every day we went into practice, like someone would be like, I don't want to do Elysia. And another person would have to be like, no, dude, like, come on. And then the next day that person would be like, dude, I think you're right. I don't think we should do Elysia again. Like, we're past it.
But
dude.
then
We're
you
too
already
old
convinced the other person, and
yeah. And so we did that for a while until once we were fully committed to like, this is a new band. It's called Ritra. Like, here's the logo, which this dude, I gave the sketches to this dude, View from the Coffin. And he made that sick ass Ritra logo that I fucking love.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, tight. Glad you like it. Yeah, that dude's sick. And yeah, so once that was like fully committed, I told the label like, hey, sorry, like we're starting a new band and you probably don't have an interest in putting it out because it's just going to be like really underground, like black and sludge
Yep.
and like death doom metal, kind of like a mix of different underground death metal genres and shit. Um, and then we wrote like 5 songs and recorded 3 of them that we thought were really good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was curious because like I remember asking questions about it, but after or interview or the conversation we had, I was like, I didn't even ask if at first they wrote some breakdown or old school stuff. We went directly into the, it
Yeah.
became black metal and stuff. So I was curious, but it makes sense, right? Like you tried, but like if your heart isn't like in that specific music, like what's the point, right? Like you need to do
Yeah.
music because you love making music. So that's what you did, and even coming from me who don't know anything about black metal, I thought it was cool, quite honestly. Like I've listened as I was doing the video, I was listening to it, I'm like, that's a vibe for sure. Like that was like there's this dark vibe, melodic vibe. It was awesome. So
Yeah, it's vibey music, it's really
yeah, it's
atmospheric and pretty like
yes.
reverb soaked and dark and shit. And like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect Elysia fans to like love it. So I'm never really like plugging it shit because it's just like so different and really reflects the kind of underground, like small band music
Yeah.
that I like to listen
Another
to and shit.
pocket, Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, there are some big like sludgy kind of like doom parts that uh, could be seen as a breakdown that people might like.
I
So
think honestly, I
you
think you
know,
you might be surprised. I think a
yeah,
lot of people, ourselves included, listen, and I mean you too. Like we all listen to a bunch of different shit, right? It's not because it's not Elysia that it wouldn't also be for someone else that also likes the band. But
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I know I'm sure you've talked about this before, but the show with Gulch doing
Oh,
uh doing the song, how was that for you? And how was like stepping up on stage and just being approached for the for the
oh yeah.
occasion? Like, how
That
was
shit
that?
was unreal. Really can't even describe it because you have to go to contextualize it. You have to go
Yeah.
back to like COVID lockdown and shit. And this was like the not only the first show I'd gone to, but it was honestly like the first show I'd even heard of people doing. Um, once like lockdowns were lifted, and it was fully outdoors, and fuck, it was crazy. There must have been 2,000 people in this parking lot, um, and sick ass bands played. Like Zabalba played,
Yeah. Sick.
obviously Gulch played. Um, it was Tsunami's maybe second or third show.
Sure.
Um,
They were blowing up from the start too, right?
yeah, from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could tell too from this show that it was going to be something special. I mean, you can watch videos of it. Like it
Yeah.
was fucking popping for them. Uh, but and the way this sort of like collab thing happened is funny too. They posted Gold posted a video on Twitter where they're like playing the "My Thumbs Are in Your Eyes" breakdown, and so it's like, oh, you should cover it. Um, and then I think just one of the dudes messaged me and it was like, hey, we're thinking about actually doing that, like just the breakdown, just like the build up and the breakdown and
Yeah.
shit. Like, would you want to come and like do the vocals for it? And I was already gonna go. Um, yeah, so I went. I got there pretty late because I had worked, um, and oh my god, yeah, just showed up. There were fireworks going off everywhere. It was so fucking packed. I could hardly get close to the stage. And at one point, I thought like oh, this just isn't happening. Like I'm not gonna
So
be able to do
you're
it.
not gonna make it to
I'm
be
just
able
like,
to do
dude,
the
I
part.
like can't,
Oh my
I can't
God.
get up there,
Yeah.
and like I can't like call them. They're like tuning and shit. It was like
Yeah.
at that point. So I just got as close as I could, and like I said, I think I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just like not doing it. And then they played like a bunch of songs, and then they just had this part where the singer Elliot was like, uh, "Yo, is Zach out there? Like, come on up here for something." And I was like, oh, my heart just like sank.
At
Got
that point,
so nervous.
you thought you were like rid of it. Like you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this
Yeah,
thing. Like,
I was kind of content with like, ah, it's not really happening.
oh.
And then to answer his call of like, where is he? I had to like push through all these people and just be like, oh, that's me. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. And then I just got up there and I made sure to like take a moment and take it all in. And I just like looked at the crowd and I was like, holy shit, this would have been like one of the biggest shows Elysia had ever played.
Mhm.
Um, and then it just like, yeah, kicked in and just like kind of blacked out. Um, it was fucking sick. And then I was yelling like, fuck the cops a lot. Uh, and then, and the cops shut the show down too. So it was kind of perfect.
Oh yeah. Eh?
Wow.
Who was
Yeah.
playing? Who was playing above Gulch? Like when did it get shut down?
I don't remember. Like, I think after them, but yeah, that's a good question. Who would have played after them? I don't remember.
Because they were doing like there were like pretty limited shows that Gulch were doing around that time, right? Too.
Yeah,
It's kind of like random for them to be coming and doing shows. I remember seeing the flyers when the stuff came out. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, but it was in San Jose, which was like kind of like all those bands like hometown. So I think that drew hella people. But I saw
Yeah.
people like old friends from Sacramento and shit came up to me after, and they were just like, I like hadn't seen them in 12 years, and they're like, holy shit, I never thought like that's how I'd see you again. It's just randomly on stage
The
doing
weird
that.
high school reunion.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, it felt amazing. It was super fun. Really appreciative of that. So glad that they asked, and I tried to stay in touch with some of them. Oh, I saw like the one of the guitarist Christian last night at a show. I went to as one does when you're in your 30s. I went to a show alone last night. I saw
Yep.
I saw Amon Ra and Primitive Man.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, dude, the homie Christian was there from Gulch. He lives in Sac too, so he drove all the way to SF for it, also by himself. I was
There you
like,
go.
yeah, welcome to getting
co-pilot
older,
now.
dude. Yeah, you got to go to shows alone. I even had a second ticket because my wife couldn't go.
Wow.
And I posted on Instagram like, "Yo, like free ticket. Who wants it?" And straight up, no one no one wanted
Yeah,
it. I couldn't give it away.
Dude, what you just said right there, I felt that like in my bones, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's every single time.
Yeah.
I try to always sucker my way into taking photos now whenever I go to shows, so at least there's like an excuse to do something while I'm there, and that's usually the at least that social aspect of it, but it's usually solo regardless.
If it can reassure you both, I'm doing worse. Like I went to the theater alone, and I even went for breakfast alone many times. Like I'm at that stage where I'm just like
I'm all about solo breakfast though. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and the thing is, I love doing it. Like I really didn't mind it. Feels great, just relaxing and.
Dude, I love solo movies, especially like a matinee during the day. That's what's up.
It's awesome.
You're a movie buff, eh?
Yeah.
Into movies, what's the hype? What gets you excited about movies? I'm curious.
Man, I've just always liked them. I feel like ever since I was a kid, obviously lots of people can say that. But even when I was a teenager and shit, I used to I remember I had not a Blockbuster pass, but there's this other chain called Hollywood Video.
Okay.
And I had like a monthly subscription that where I could rent as many movies as I want, had no late fees, and I think I just got my like driver's license, and I would get
That's
like
why
a
they went
new
out of
movie
business. All
almost
your
every
fault.
night. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, dude. And then at some point, I had started smoking weed, and that just became my favorite activity. It was just like getting high and watching some like artsy fartsy film that made me feel something.
Yep.
And
Because I was looking at like your Instagram real quick, and you had like a movies you've seen this year type thing, and it was kind of like, yo, that's a lot of movies for someone to see in a single year type thing. You know, it's like it's a movie every other day, if not every one. You know.
Yeah, shit. Maybe it is, dude. Yeah, because usually at the end of the year, I'll have watched like almost 100 films from that year. And I just love it, and I love like ranking shit and stuff. I'm like all about that.
Do you watch those
All about
YouTuber
that.
critics like Your Movie Suck and stuff like that? I don't know if you've seen those YouTuber, but it's always funny to me when they just like, I'm gonna like a movie and then I know they're gonna destroy it, but I'm still curious to know what's somehow what's their opinion. And then there's like tons of stuff like camera work or things that I don't notice. Are you like that deep into movies, like noticing like all these little things like production things? Are you that deep in your love for movie, or it's more like an entertaining thing, you just love watching movies? Are you like a movie
Oh man,
geek?
somewhat, but I'm somewhat that nerdy about it, but maybe not fully on.
Okay.
But yeah, I sometimes I'll use the word cinematography.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
There you
I
go.
sound like a real asshole.
We use the word content over here, so I feel you.
Yeah. There you go. No, I love asking that because like I'll be completely honest, I don't notice these things. Like I wish I would, but like the camera work, like sometimes I talk with my friends and I'm like, that was a good movie. And he's like,
wait. You say that, but then it's the type of thing that you can't unsee and you can't not notice, and you can't and sometimes that sucks the life out of a movie. It ruins the experience almost for you. You're like, this was a great movie, but I was thinking about all these other things because you have this extra knowledge, which isn't
I can
always
see
that. Great, in my opinion. But
no, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
True.
I haven't paid much attention to the chat, but I think this is Joey from the banner in here. Is that you? Reveal yourself. I think it is. But if it is, what's up?
Reveal yourself. I love that. Reveal snitch.
the
Yes.
The curse of the username.
Yeah. Shout out the banner, dude. So the Frailty came out no, I think it came out before Lion of Judas, but fuck, dude, that was mind blowing to me about the kind of other types of metal and punk genres you can pull for influence for your like hardcore, like for your like metalcore band. Fucking love touring with them. It was sick. And they showed me a bunch of bands and shit that I like to this day. I always remember one of them showed me Rotten Sound, this grindcore band. There's this fucking a lot of the best breakdowns are actually written by grindcore bands. Their album Cycles, like the intro to Cycles, is the fucking hardest mosh part like anyone's ever heard. I swear to God. Listen,
now I'm very curious.
Just put on Cycles, that album by Rotten Sound. It's so
Dom,
fucking
you're
sick.
noting that?
Yeah.
I think Joey here showed it to me. I think he started with that song, and I was just like, "What the fuck? That's so sick."
Now I'm curious. Gonna have to listen to that. Sick. I'd be curious to know also in terms of like, because I know you did some collabs, features and stuff like that in the past. Is that something, and I'm not saying that so that every single band DM you after the interview, but I'm just curious, like, is that something you're still open to do, or you would do if you like a song or whatever, like doing features or guest vocals? Are you, it doesn't have to be deathcore, but let's say like if you feel a song and you're like, yeah, sure, would you still do these things?
It's really fun, and I like that it keeps me like active and shit. I definitely like feel I don't want to get to a point where that's all I'm doing. Like I want to make my own music.
You don't want that to be your brand.
Yeah, exactly. Like And I kind of feel like I'm maybe at this point now where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to put some of my own shit out. So I really want to focus on that.
Okay.
And like, and yeah, the Terminal Nation one to me is kind of like the peak of just fucking being stoked on doing a feature. Like I was so pumped on that one because I liked that band already. And then he had a really cool story. The singer said that a long time ago when he was a kid, when he was like 14 or something, 15, we played, they're from Little Rock, Arkansas. We played Little Rock, and I don't really remember this, but he says I was sick and like didn't play. And so oh, that's probably why I don't remember this, because I probably wasn't at the
You
show.
don't remember playing the show, yeah.
So okay, that makes sense. So, but the band still played, and I think the whole thing was like, oh, we're just gonna play like just with crowd participation, or someone can come up here and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Terminal Nation singer told me that when the band did that, that he was the one who went on stage and like sang most of it. He was like a big fan, and I think that was like kind of a moment for him where he's like, fuck, dude, I want to be a vocalist.
I mean, you owed him at least a feature after that one.
Yeah, so he flattered me, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay. No, I love that band, and then the idea behind the song was really fucking sick too. I'm from I live in San Francisco, so it's really like topical to me. It's about like the homelessness crisis, and yeah, I love his lyrics and shit, dude. That record's fucking sick. Everyone should check out the new Terminal Nation.
Came out this week, eh? It just came out, right?
Yeah, it came out Friday.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of not all members playing a show you guys did, this Wrong Airport story. Do you mind sharing that? Guitarist.
So like maybe the number one like live video that pops up of us on YouTube is this video of us playing the Showcase, the legendary like early aughts metalcore, hardcore venue in SoCal. And it was our first time there. And we we were driving from school. And then we had, or maybe I think we were graduated, but we had some member who just like couldn't drive down with us. They had to like go to class or something. Garrett, it was. So he had to fly. And we were just going to pick him up on the way to Showcase Theater. But what happened was we were like already running kind of late. We were really pressed on time. And we got to the airport and he like wasn't there. So we got a hold of him and we're like, he's describing where he is. And we're like, dude, none of that makes sense, bro. Like finally at some point, one of us were just like, what airport are you at? And he told us the wrong airport. He straight up told us the wrong airport. And it was like, fuck, dude, we don't have time to get you. We couldn't go get him. So we went to Showcase, played as a 4-piece. So that's why in that video, it's only Alex on guitar, which I don't think we had ever done before. We totally weren't prepared for. And I hate that that's our like number one live video, because all I see is like the 4-piece. And I'm just like,
yeah. And there's like something too, like I think like guitars go back and forth, or like a cha 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 cha, and it goes to the other one, but no one plays it. Like it wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna do his part. Like it's not like he was doing something else. Instead, it was just silent.
Oh, that
like,
makes sense.
Kind of funny.
So we had no idea we would be doing that until like an hour before. And like, and another reason we couldn't get them is like they had some of the bands like push their set times to kind of accommodate us like running late and shit.
Already, yeah.
Like already, like it was as late as we could be. And so he said he just hung out he like walked to a Denny's and hung out there all night until after the show when we could go get him. Poor guy.
How I mean, judging by the video, you guys don't seem too checked about it. I mean, you guys got into show mode and kind of did your thing regardless. But I know a few people that would have completely fucking checked them, and
Yeah,
either wouldn't have played or like, would have given a bad set type thing. But
yeah, that would have been all Alex, because he was the guitarist, so he made it happen, had the confidence to make it, and know how to make it happen. Yeah.
Kind of had to.
It's
by the way, I had no choice.
It's my favorite things, like the behind, like things that you couldn't know if you didn't talk to the band, or like, it's one of like these stories are always super interesting. Like you don't know it, and then you hear about it.
There is another way of finding shit out. The other way, again, is
Reddit?
Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine. I love this. I'm surprised I stumbled upon 16-year-old Zak MySpace profile, not Elysia's profile.
What?
But do you still enjoy bonsai trees?
Oh no, dude! That I only ever had that one, and it died real quickly. Like I should have oh man, I should have never bought it. I basically bought it to like kill it.
Oh man. My god!
Yeah, the bonsai trees, reading and writing, and then the all out war CD is what you said your interests were on.
And
on
this
MySpace.
CD.
Yeah.
I like that I called it, like, I didn't say this album. I said this CD.
Yeah, and writing with a mistake in it too. I thought that was kind of
hell yes, dude.
Pretty, but so maybe this one's kind of curious to check up on you and see if this is still the case. When I drive, I put my cell phone on vibrate because my music is too loud to hear the ring. Now, if I put my cell phone in my pocket to feel it vibrate, I can't reach into my pocket while sitting down because it gets too tight to reach in. So I put my phone under my balls so I could feel it vibrate it and have easy access to it. This is my life story. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that was my bio, huh?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, wow.
That's so tight. You know what's funny is dudes like one time a bunch of people linked me to some kid's profile and they were like, yo, this dude ripped off your bio. And he just like had that in his bio. And I remember messaging him being like, bro, that's my story, man. That's
my story. It's mine.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
The very early versions of internet impersonation, I guess.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Because now it's like my phone's plugged into the car, so I don't miss a phone call and I can like click a button and answer it on my car
the ring
speakers.
comes to the speakers now.
But yeah, back then, like your Nokia
was not the thing playing music on your on your
so I
car.
just used to, I guess, just slot it right there.
Makes sense.
I can't believe that somebody stole this very specific bio. Like, it's not like if it was just like a music term or.
Sorry, I put it back up.
Like, it's so specific and clear. Like when you steal something like that, like it's I don't know. It's funny to me.
I think I just took a screenshot of this, so I can't scroll down. But I think also you had a list of bands that you enjoy, and Elysia was the first band on the list.
There you go.
That's kind of funny.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I mean, you got to feel what you're doing, so
yeah,
it does make sense.
But man, I want to be kind of conscious of your time, man. Yeah. I think maybe this would be a good place to maybe end it. But
or like, just out of curiosity, did we have like questions that we needed to, like, sometimes we have questions on the Discord. I don't know if it came up at all. We're good. Okay, perfect.
No.
I would have felt bad, and I think we inserted a few ones in the chat. Like I was reading, and then we got to it like naturally. So I think I think I think it might be a good time to promote, right? Like what's coming for
because you got the stuff coming to digital releases and platforms and stuff. Do you mind letting us know what's going on, what's coming up? And if you've got any other thing you want to plug also, I don't know if you know, we can get into, maybe if you got other music or anything like that, we can also get into that before we.
It doesn't have to be deathcore, you know, it could be anything.
No, I mean, nothing really. Yeah. So the Masochist like remaster reissue thing is coming out this Friday. You can hear it finally. And it has the 04 demo is like in it. Also
Which
remastered.
is super cool, by the way.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that
awesome.
that's packaged into
Yes.
that.
Yeah, and then it has the Filthy single. So like the first recording of Filthy is on it. And then it has these two like unreleased versions of Triumph and Incinerate that we never officially released, but they were like leaked online. So I've like heard them before or seen them on YouTube before. So it's kind of nice to actually, like in the liner notes, I explain like why those versions exist. Yeah, May 10th. And then there's some merch where we reopened the merch pre-order.
Yeah, it's like closing soon, right? It's like
it's closing on Friday.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a link in chat right now that I just put in. It's a link to their link tree, and all the merch stuff is in there. So go buy something, go check it out, go check out the stuff that's on the store.
Oh my god,
because it's for a couple more days before you guys are taking it down. So
and it looks so good. I just want to say it, like it's some sick merch. Yeah, looks amazing.
I just want to commend really quick also, and I'm assuming this is a joint, like these things are kind of joint decisions, but you guys and Secret Swarm, I really, 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 and I cannot understate this, really appreciate the way that this was rolled out and available for people to first get the cool little limited edition type stuff, but then also do more variants in more of a pre-order fashion. I think a lot, and no shade towards anyone doing this sort of stuff. It's all super fucking cool at the end of the day, but there's a lot of this vinyl stuff when it comes to the MySpace revival and stuff like that do very limited stuff. And it's like, if you're in the know, you can get in on it. And if not, so be it. And I don't know. I find it cool that you know, that we can get more people in on more merch and more CDs, and I don't see who loses ultimately. Like, you know, I saw Secret Storm post a story of all the merch that came in for the orders, and you guys sold a shit ton of fucking merch. But crazy. Like, why limit it to 50 pieces each? You know, like I never really understood the scarcity mindset when you know, there's plenty of love to go around, right? There's so much. True. And a lot of people that are interested. So I just want to commend you guys for doing it the way you guys did. Definitely. Because it's cool that you guys reopened pre-orders and added pre-orders and stuff after the original limited stuff.
Awesome. It's awesome.
That was the mission statement, really, was to make it available for everyone who wants it within reason. Like, don't want to leave it for sale forever because it's not an active thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys have had this going on for like a month or two at this point. You know, like people who want it, there's no like reason to not be able to get a hold of it,
exactly.
Right? Which I think usually is like the case in most of these drops. So
yeah, and shout out Ricky, who was like way down with this idea. You know,
incredible.
Yeah, and has his work cut out for him, or has for a while now, because he's been shipping merch and shit. And he's going to have to do it again once this pre-order hits. So,
Yep.
Oh, and then he's going to have to ship vinyl and shit too. Oh man, oh, boy.
Yep, he's got
a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work for one man.
But it's working very well, though. Let's be real. Like, there's a big hype. Like, it's fun to see. Like, it's awesome. It's a big thing for the scene. I'm just gonna say that. Like, it's a very big thing. People sometimes don't know the amount of work behind it, but like it's ton of like all these things, like all these, it's a lot of preparation, lots of like discussion behind it. So like, I feel
risk
like we
as well,
risk as
you
well.
Don't know if it's gonna, you
never
go the
know
way you want type thing.
Nope.
Yeah.
A lot of time, a lot of passion. So big shout out for that as well.
Yeah. Tight.
So for the fans out there, like maybe we're gonna hear something new musically, because you said you want to do your own thing. So we can say maybe the future we're gonna hear something new.
You got some riffs kicking.
I hope so. You know, yeah, I mean, when I say there's some riffs kicking, it's like as of this week. So I don't want to say
Okay.
like 100%.
No, I don't want to put you on the spot.
I have
but
a new project um, but I want to be working on something shit. So yeah, just try to find the right people and come together on an idea that we all think is awesome. And yeah, see where it goes.
Man. I mean, if/when that does come to fruition, you hit us up. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get you back on.
Oh, for sure.
We got plenty more we could talk
and
about.
we would talk about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would love to talk about, it's not only, of course, we love to go back in time, talk about MySpace, all that stuff, but like we also, we love talking about music. We're excited about new projects as well, right? So it would be awesome to have you back and talk about what you're doing. So let us know, definitely.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking
so
the
much,
time.
man.
Thanks for sharing, man. And we'll keep in touch. All right.
Of course,
for
man.
Sure.
Yeah. It was awesome.
All right. Have a good night, man.
Later,
Take
chat.
care, man.